guys, how's it going? Today I thought I would show you some of the books that I have bought and read recently. I've actually bought, well, not really bought, it's borrowed, but on Kindle Unlimited, I've borrowed quite a few more books than I can show you in person because they're only on my Kindle app. I don't have physical copies of them. But I'll try to insert pictures and talk about them as well. I used to really love reading a lot as a kid, but I stopped reading a little more as I got older because I found that generally a lot of the books that I saw weren't really, I wasn't really into them. They didn't really cater to my interests, which I also know that, there are so many books in the world. It is crazy how many books there are out there. But I was I was young, a teenager, and then a young adult, and I was I can't be bothered to weed through all the books to find ones that I want to read. But I started again back in 2023 because I discovered paranormal romance books and monster romance books more specifically. And I was oh, this is for me, girl, this is it. And I started to read a few of them back then, but I didn't keep up with it because I had a lot going on in 2023, health-wise, so I wasn't really looking for all the books. I was just trying to survive. This year I did have a similar health issue occur, but I instead looked to books as a means of relaxation and escape during this trying time. So I'm going to show you some of the books that I have bought and read recently. So, first up, this one, My Funny Demon Valentine by Aurora Asher. The book is beautiful, beautiful, incredible. That is what initially drew me to the book, is that it looked beautiful and the title was interesting. I love this book. Let me read the back for you. It says, Asmodeus, Prince of Hell, just wants to make music, jazz specifically. Unfortunately, he's a demon and he's supposed to be evil. Clearly for Ash, a career as a musician isn't exactly an option. Plus, he's cursed. Sick of playing by the rules, Ash and his three brothers escape hell in search of freedom on Earth. But it's harder than they thought to keep their enemies off their tails. Yet everything changes for Ash when he meets a beautiful violinist who can see through his curse. No matter the risk, he has to have her. Evangeline Gregory is just your average human. She works at a jazz bar, plays gigs on weekends, and apparently hallucinates demons. At least that's what Eva tells herself, when moments after she meets the man of her dreams, she sees him shift into a 7-foot-tall monster. Not believing her own eyes, Eva decides to investigate and soon find herself in the middle of a supernatural clusterfuck. But Ash isn't the only one keeping secrets, and a shocking truth will change Eva's life forever, or maybe just doom it. The path to love can be complete hell. Now, I bought this book back in February, and I didn't read it until the beginning of June because I was busy and I didn't think I had time to read a book, and I wasn't sure how into it I was going to be. But let me just say, I loved this book. It was so good. I just loved the relationship dynamic between Evangeline and Asmodeus, Eva and Ash, as they're often called. I thought they were very cute. It also gets points from me because she is a black protagonist, and in these types of books. So I love that, and I thought she was wonderful, as were all the characters. It's very fun, it's very cute, it is spicy, as like the kids on Book Talk and stuff call it. So only read it if you are old enough to consume that kind of content, but I do really recommend it. I think it's a great book. So much so that I bought the second book in the series, my Demon Hunter. This one follows another character that is introduced in the first book. He's a demon hunter. He goes by the name Mist. And at the end of the first book, without spoiling too much, he decides he wants to do what the demons did, the demon brothers do. He wants to be free like them. Let me read the back. It says, "The hunter shall become the hunted, enslaved to an evil demon queen for millennia. Mist has only ever served one purpose. He is the hunter, the one who drags the guilty back to hell. But finally tasting freedom on Earth has changed him for the first time. Mist questions his duty. The human female who smiles at him with no idea what a monster he is draws him in, and he will do anything to possess her. And the timid shall become the fierce. Lily Donovan, the most dangerous thing. I'm sorry, I can't read. Lily Donovan thought the most dangerous thing about running to the corner store at night would be the aisles of junk food. She didn't bargain on encountering chaos in the form of a man with unusual tattoos and beguiling amber eyes. Since the death of her parents, Lily has tried to forget what she is, but denial is not an option when she's confronted with everything she's been running from." This book was also very good, just like the first book in the series. This one, since it's about different characters, it's about Mist and Lily, the woman that he meets and ends up falling in love with. You do see the other characters from the first book in it, but they're more side and background characters. I like this one as well because Lily is a plus-size character, and again, something that we don't see very often. The first book had a black protagonist, and this one has a plus-size protagonist. So, Aurora Asher, you get points from me for that. I love that. There's other books in this series as well. I don't have them yet. I do plan on buying them, but I'm short on money. So, hopefully soon I will get to read the rest of them, because I know the next book is about Lily's twin sister and who she ends up getting with. Alright. Now these are books that I have not read yet, but that I've bought and I'm working on reading. So, this one is called The Barbarian's Touch, and there is a whole series of these Ice Planet Barbarian books, and I've heard about them. I see them a lot on Kindle, but I didn't plan on finding them in person when I went to the bookstore last week, so I picked one up. There's a lot of books in this series, so I was having a hard time figuring out which one to get, but I decided on this one, and I will read the back to you. It says, "Lila has never been more frightened in her life, but when Rogan appears, everything changes. When I wake up on the ice planet, I'm scared of everything. This place is cold, silent, and the locals look more like blue devils than aliens. To make matters worse, one of the strangers decides I'm going to be his girlfriend and kidnaps me away from my sister. I'm completely and utterly alone. What's a girl to do? Well, this girl escapes. Of course, that means I go from the frying pan into the fire, and my situation gets even more dangerous. Just when I have no hope left, a new hero shows up. Sure, he's blue, horned, and has a tail. He's also fierce, protective, makes me purr, and thinks I'm perfect. But is what we have real, or just a mating instinct?" That's another thing with these monster, supernatural, alien type being books is like, there's a lot of talk about mating and mates and being somebody's mate. And it's like, do they really love me because like they chose me and they want to? Or is it just their instinct telling me that I'm their mate? That's like a source of slight tension in at least a few books. But I haven't read this one yet. I just bought it a few days ago. And I really want to though, because I have a friend who also reads these types of books, and they said that it is pretty good. So I'm looking forward to Barbarian's Touch by Ruby Dixon. Alright, another one that I bought is Her Soul to Take. I've had this one for a while. It's also very beautiful. Look at that. I've had this one for a while too. I got this one back in February when I bought my Funny Demon Valentine, but I haven't read it yet because, like I said, I've been busy with work and life and other things, and I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think this might be one of the ones that I start on probably tomorrow. But Her Soul to Take is, I've heard that it's very good. And it's got two little descriptions, one for Leon, and the one for Leon reads, "My reputation among magicians is unblemished. Killer, they call me. Killing is what I'm best at. One wrong move and you're dead. Except her, the one I was supposed to take, the one I should have killed. The cult that once controlled me wants her, but I'm not about to lose my new toy to them." And the little blurb for Ray reads, "I've always believed in the supernatural. Hunting for ghosts is my passion, but summoning a demon was never part of the plan. Monsters are roaming the woods, and something ancient, something evil is waking up and calling my name. I don't know who I can trust or how deep this darkness goes. All I know is my one shot at survival is the demon stalking me, and he doesn't just want my body, he wants my soul." I know less about this book, but it's a series. It says it's part of the Souls trilogy, and this is book 1. I've heard it's good, and it's one that I've wanted to read for a while. It's just very hard for me to start tasks, and then once I've started something, it's very hard for me to stop a task. So I'm kind of in a vicious cycle here, but I'm really interested to see how this book turns out. I think it looks really nice, and I do love the way hardcover books sound, even if they do cost $1 million in today's climate. See, that's nice. It's a beautiful book, and it sounds good too. What more could you ask for? Alright. I also have Court of the Vampire Queen by Katie Robert. Now, I first came to know about Katie Robert because back in 2023, when I had my first dabble into supernatural monster romance, I read a lot of Katie Robert's older, like monster romance books. And I have a few of them in physical copy as well. They're at my house, in my old bedroom. I would have to see if my mom can help me find them, but I do like her writing a lot. So when I've seen her become more mainstream and writing more, I would say more palatable romance stories, because I know the monster ones aren't for everybody, I was intrigued. And again, the same friend who talks to me about all these books said that these are very good as well. Court of the Vampire Queen is supposed to be especially good. On the back it says, "All Mina ever wanted was to escape her father's control. Half human, half vampire, she lived eternally torn between two worlds, never fully experiencing the pleasures of either, until her father chose her as the pawn in his latest political move, gifting her to the darkly powerful and dangerous seductive Malachi's Ion. Malachi is not a vampire to be trifled with. He rules with an iron fist and has a reputation for the darkest of sins. But the longer Mina is with him, the more she realizes he's not the monster she first thought. And as fear bleeds into lust, then trust, then something more, Malachi opens Mina up to a world she never knew could be hers for the taking, including the love of Malachi's two closest friends and companions. Now surrounded by all three men, the center of their shockingly seductive world, Mina may finally have the power to face down her father and take back the life and crown that by all rights should be hers. Long live the Queen. Yeah, I thought this one sounded very interesting. I will say, I do like, I like all of the books that I read, all of like the supernatural, paranormal, like romance books that I read, but I do have like a certain fondness for the ones that feature like polyamorous couples, or it's like the protagonist has like several mates or boyfriends or girlfriends or partners. I don't know what that says about me personally, but I find them very interesting and very compelling, and I like reading them because I like all the different dynamics. It's like for whatever I enjoy about one couple and their dynamic in like a monogamous book, it's like there's a lot more of it in books with the multiple partner couples. I just think they're neat. I don't know. Like I said, who knows what that says about me, if it says anything, because, you know, that's not that strange. I also have another Katie Robert book, Illicit Temptations. This one I don't know as much about. I think I bought it because there was some kind of sale where if you bought 2 books, you got one free. But I was like, hey, I like Katie Robert, let me get another one. I think this one has 2 stories in one. It's got 2 novellas in one book. The first one is Make Me Yours. And it says Becca gets what she wants, and she wants Aaron, but only for a quick affair. Weeks later, her coveted freedom starts to disappear, thanks to a plus sign on a pregnancy test. Aaron insists she move into his penthouse and commit to a relationship, but Becca demands he give her space without pushing for more. They are total opposites, with different jobs, interests, and lives, but their chemistry keeps pushing them together, for better or for worse. And the second story is Make Me Need, and it says Trish desperately needs her new job, which means putting up with the world's grumpiest boss, who is also her brother's best friend and business partner, Cameron. The way he looks at her is pure disdain, but when he touches her, it's pure fire. With family and business ties at stake, they are not supposed to be together. There's a fine line between hate and lust, and they are going to cross it. But at what cost? Now, these 2 stories are, I think, set in the same universe or interconnected, because in the first story, the man's name is Aaron Livingston, and in the second one, the girl is Trish Livingston. So I'm gonna assume they're brother and sister, they're related, and, you know, they're interconnected somehow. Again, I've done very little research about this book. I just picked it up because it looked nice, and I like Katie Robert, but this isn't normally one that I would read. I don't like these like CEO type stories. I know that's like a very big trope, especially among like webtoons and webcomics. There's like a lot of different CEO and villainous ones. There's a ton of villainous ones, but we're not talking about that right now. But I know that's like it's like a common trope, like a romance trope of like CEO meets regular person, or like CEO meets this person and falls in love, which I did kind of read webtoons like that back in the day. Back in 2021, I used to follow the webcomic for A Business Proposal and for Positively Yours. As they were still coming out, I followed them to completion. So I'm not knocking the whole CEO thing. I have read some of that. It's just not my favorite. But I like Katie Roberts' writing, so I'm open to giving this a chance. It sounds pretty good still. Alright, speaking of webtoons and webcomics, I have the novelization of Under the Oak Tree. It's volume 1. I did not even know that they were doing this. To be honest, I haven't kept up with Under the Oak Tree in a couple of years. I started reading it back in 2021 because it was relentlessly advertised to me. And I was sitting at work one day. I was on the floor with the kids during nap time, and I was replying to a text message, and then I opened up something to check, and I got another ad for it, and I was like, okay, let me download this Manta app, and let me read Under the Oak Tree because it looks good. I read everything that was out at the time during that day, like the kids' nap time that day, and I was hooked. So I followed it for a while after that, and then I kind of fell off reading webtoons and webcomics, so I stopped keeping up with it. But then I saw this in the bookstore back in February, same trip that I got my Funny Demon Valentine and all that from, and I wanted to get it because I do really love their dynamic. I loved reading Under the Oak Tree. I thought that they were a darling couple. I loved their relationship dynamic. I love that type of man. Like, oh, need me one like that. But I haven't read this yet either. It's a little big. But I think it'll be good. I need to catch up with Under the Oak Tree. I don't know if it's over at this point or not, or if it's still going, but I need to go back and reread the beginning that I followed, and then everything that I've missed in the past couple of years, because I really did enjoy the story when I started reading it back in 2021, like 2022 time. And I'm like very interested to see like what happened. So I do have this book, and it is beautiful. For any of you who don't know the Under the Oak Tree webcomic and have never read it, I've never read this novelization of it, I will read the back for you. It says, Lady Maximilian is the daughter of the powerful Duke Creusot, but she is rarely allowed outside her family's sprawling castle for fear that her stutter will tarnish their noble name. When she is forced to marry Sir Riften, a low-born knight caught in one of her father's schemes, Maxie doesn't dare hope for happiness, let alone love. Her stumbling communication and his gruff manner sour their relationship before it can begin, and Riften leaves without a word the morning after their vows are exchanged. Now, 3 years after their disastrous wedding night, Riften has returned as a war hero. To Maxie's surprise, despite rumors that he was offered marriage to Princess Agnes, a beautiful and renowned sorceress, Riften still wants Maxie for his wife. And when he comes to claim her, his desire bewilders Maxie, even as she is overcome by the scorching heat that Riften's presence ignites within her. As she learns to navigate the intricacies of her new life, Maxie will find herself and her courage and discover that she is anything but powerless. I'm so sorry, I cannot read. I'm so tongue-tied. I feel like I get anxiety when I try to read out loud. It was like that when I went to school too, back when we had to do popcorn reading in English class. I hated that. But yeah, I love Under the Oak Tree. I love them. I would love to read that novelization. I need to get through all of these stupid books. They're not stupid. I don't know why I said that. I need to get through all of these books because I am just so interested in all of them, and I just don't even know where to start at this point. I'm like, I want to read these. Come on. I also have some comics that I recently bought. I bought this one. It's the Mark Spears Monsters, one of the books of that. My dear friend, the creature from the Black Lagoon, is up here. The lighting and the angle right now are horrendous, so I can't show it to you very well, but he's there. You can kind of see him. Love that guy. If you couldn't tell from my channel name, I'm a huge Creature from the Black Lagoon fan. I love him. I try to buy as much creature stuff as possible. Again, another Mark Spears Monsters. So my friend the creature is here as well. This one is issue number 1, and I think the other one I have is, yeah, this one's issue 4. But these were the only ones they had. They had like a million different cover variants of issue 4. And then they had issue 1, but that was it. I couldn't buy any of the other issues besides that. Speaking of the Creature from the Black Lagoon, I found out that they made Creature comics. Sorry, I keep hitting the table, but look at that. That's my man. This is volume 1. And then I got volume 2. Volume 3. Sorry, the glare is making this hard. Volume 4. I was so excited to find these. I didn't even know they made these. So when I saw them in my local comic shop, I was like, oh my god. This is for me, specifically for me. I also got volume 2 of the Sister Imperator comics that Ghost are putting out. I do like the band Ghost. I don't know if you can tell based on what I'm wearing. The fact that I own this. This is the only one that I own, though. I only have volume 2 because I've been unable to find any of the other ones in person. And they were sold out online the last time I looked, but it's been a minute, so they might have them now. But I'd like to get the rest of them. But I do have volume 2. And then I also got this edition of Hellboy. Yeah, it's one of the special premiere edition, like wizard ones. It comes with the certificate of authenticity and everything. Sorry, let me scoot that away. I dearly apologize for that. But yeah, it's got the certificate of authenticity in the back. It's still sealed. So, it's brand new, still sealed. Certificate of authenticity. He was charging $50 for it. And I was like, okay, that's not the worst. Because I've seen it online, like used out of the sleeve, and no certificate, going for like $20 and like $25. So I'm like, okay, brand new, still in the packaging with the certificate, $50's not that bad. But I was there buying a couple of the other comics I just showed you. I did not buy all of those at once, by the way. I am not Jeff Bezos. I do not have $1 million. I work very hard for my money, and I cherish the little treats I can buy. But I was there buying a couple of the other comics I just showed you on that trip. So he gave me a little bit of a deal on it. He gave it to me for $30, which I really appreciated. So it's got my other man on it, Abe Sapien. Yeah. I'm like, if you can't tell, I'm like sick and twisted in the head. I have a thing for the Fishmen characters. I love the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I love Abe Sapien. The movie The Shape of Water is everything to me. There's this there's this manga and anime series by Yasuhiro Naitao, the same guy who made Trigun. His other series is called Gekkai Sensen, or Blood Blockade Battlefront. I love that series. It's one of my favorite series of all time. Not a ton of people know about it, which makes me sad, but I do love that series dearly. Anyway, before I get sidetracked, there's a Fishman character in that too. His name is Zed O'Brien, and he's everything to me. I ride or die for him. Nobody cares about him like I do. I own so much merch for him that I've bought off of Mercari and eBay. It's like there's something wrong with me. I need to not spend my money on that kind of stuff anymore. But yeah, I love the Fishman characters. They're everything to me. I started young. When I was a child, I found a Creature from the Black Lagoon book in my school's library, and I read it, and that's where it all started. And then a few months later, in this weird little shop in a flea market my mom used to take me to, there was a framed picture of him, and I begged my mom for it, and she bought it for me. And it used to hang in my room for a lot of years throughout my childhood. I got rid of it when I was a teenager because I was like, ugh, so cringe. I don't want to be cringe. I want to be normal. I want to not be bullied anymore. And I was like that for a long time. As I got older, I was like, I need to be normal. No more weird shit. No more dressing like a emo middle schooler. No more nonsense. We're gonna lock in and get normal. That didn't last very long. By the time I was like 20 or 21, I stopped trying. And I just was like, who cares? If I'm gonna be kind of a strange adult, then so be it. I'm gonna like the things that I like. And so then I got back into all my weird little interests, and I rebought a bunch of Creature merch and was watching The Shape of Water every week and things like that, reading my monster romance books, listening to my music, things like that. Just do what makes you happy, as long as it's not illegal and it's not harming other people. But yeah, I do also have some Kindle books that I have read. I might do another book video about that in a little while. Those ones might be a little more wild and crazy than the in-person ones, because you can just put anything on Kindle. Those are like the monster romance books, where it's like the Mothman and like the Kraken and the Basilisk and the Gargoyles, which it's like, I'm not knocking that. I have read some very compelling stories about those creatures. I'm just saying those aren't usually for everybody, but I might go over those in another video if I can get all the screenshots and the footage in order. But thank you for watching and listening to me ramble and read the back of these books very poorly. I appreciate it. If you have any supernatural romance, monster romance book recommendations for me, let me know. I'm always open to listening. If you want to have monster paranormal romance book club with me, discuss down in the comments. Let me know. I don't know a lot of other people in my like immediate vicinity that read books like this, and I'm not in a lot of online communities because I have a hard time talking to people. I get scared and nervous. But if you guys are familiar with these books and you like them and you want to talk about them, please feel free to leave a comment. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I would love to talk about them. So thank you for listening to me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.